Okay, this is the second step of my hornady lock and load auto press reloading. Separated process in two steps, I guess. One step I'll take my spent brass, decap it, prime it, and flare it. Now I sometimes prime it on a little hornady handheld priming tool, just because it's easier than loading 100 primers at a time. In which case, this will be step 3. And step 1 and 2 will be decapping and flaring the case mount to accept the bullet. But either way you look at it, let's just call this step 2. And in this step, all we do is add the powder to the case and add the projectile. So I already did a few here, and let's keep going. Now unfortunately I don't have either a bullet feeder nor a case feeder, so it's kind of annoying like that. Gotta add a new case in, gotta add a new bullet in each time. But once you get rolling, it is pretty fast. You just kind of get a rhythm to it. It's not too bad. Now every few cases I will check the powder, make sure it's still consistent. Got my little scale handy here. So let's give one a check. The thing I like about the hornady press obviously is you can take out the case at any step and inspect it. So dump it here. I'm trying to get around 3.94, and there we go, right at 4. So I'll actually dump this powder back now. Back to the top here. And just keep going. Again, I think I want to invest in probably a case feeder. Either that or make one. I've seen a few YouTube videos where guys make them, and they're fairly easy to make. They're not that complex. You just need a few parts and fabricate it. I just haven't had the time really to go out looking for parts and making it, but maybe once you get into this rhythm again, it's not too bad. I like doing it in 2 steps because when you do it all in 1 step, like decapping, priming, flaring, charging, and placing the bullet, you gotta use the downstroke on the lock and load, and when going down, that will cause priming. But then sometimes you don't know if a primer went down the tube, and you might end up with an unprimed case. You go to charge, it goes spilling everywhere. I just don't love the system. I think priming could have been designed a lot better in this. So for now, sometimes I do. It depends on the mood, I guess. Give this case another measure. Alright, exactly where we want to be. And I got this die in the 5th station, it's a lead die. And what that does is does a final post sizing. So sometimes you get irregular bullets or whatnot, or sometimes they're thicker, and this just kind of makes sure it'll chamber in anything, any firearm. For 9mm, I don't really find it's that necessary. I mean, I think it barely even touches anything in 9s, but when I'm usually running 45, get a lot more resistance from that last die. Whether it's the projectiles I'm using, they're oversized a little bit, or I don't know what it is, but there's a lot more resistance in 45. Sometimes in 9 I usually don't have this. Or when I did my single stage of loading, I just skipped this step because there's absolutely no need for it. They all chamber just fine. But since I got the 5th station, it doesn't really matter. Might as well have it in, can't hurt.